Let's look at the cost of home ownership now. So we've already learned about owning cars. So we're going to now look at homes. So here are the concepts that we're going to learn. So here is some vocabulary that you need to understand. So hopefully one day you want to own a home, or maybe you already own a home, but it's the American dream to own a home. So you do need to understand how this all works. I've owned a few homes, and going through this section actually was pretty interesting, figuring out how things are calculated. So we're going to go ahead and go through this. So go ahead and read through all of the vocabulary. One thing that you can look at over here is a point. You can buy points to lower your interest rate. So your interest rates, let's say it's 5%. Well, you can buy a percent just by paying 1% or 1 point, which would lower your rate by 1%, and you pay it with 1% of your loan amount. 2 points would be 2%, and so on. So those are kind of like down payment. It's part of your down payment would be paying for that point. So this formula is very similar to the car, or is it the same? Yes, it is the same as the car because it is an installment loan, fixed rate over a certain amount of years. So let's look at our example. It says the price of a home is 315,000. The bank requires 10% down and 2 points at the time of closing. Cost of the home is financed with a 30-year fixed rate at 4.5%. So let's figure out the down payment. So it says 10% down. So we want to do the cost of the home times 10%. If you think about it, you're really just moving the decimal over. So it's 31,500 would be 10%. So then no, I don't need that one. So your mortgage would be the amount of the loan minus your down payment, which is 283,500. So then you have to do your points of closing. So you only pay for points based on what you are getting a loan for. So 2 points would be 2%. So this is part of your, it would be part of your closing costs, not your down payment. This is your down payment. This is part of your closing cost. So you're going to pay 5,670 as part of your closing cost. So you have to pay your down payment. This closing cost does not go toward the principal. This is part of your financing charges. Okay. Next thing, monthly payment. So your payment is found by doing how much you are getting out, your principal amount, your 4.5%. You're doing it monthly. $30. And we are going to round to the nearest whole number. So go ahead and put that in your calculator. And I did it. So this is what it came out to be. So this is your monthly payment excluding escrow and taxes and insurance and HOA fees. So this is just going toward principal and interest. That's it. Usually whenever you do your home, they escrow in your taxes and insurance. So let's say you have a $500 per month fee or payment toward taxes and insurance, then your mortgage is going to be more, but it's because it includes everything. So to get your total interest paid over the 30 years, you do your payments times 12 times your 30. And then this is going to shock you. $500,000. But you only borrowed that. Well, you borrowed less than that. You borrowed this, but $500,000 is how much you end up paying over 30 years because interest costs that much. So to find out how much total interest, you would do how much your payments were minus how much your loan was for. And it comes out to be $233,460 over the 30 years. That's how it works. So let's look at if we compare a 20-year to a 30-year. All right, so just buying a small cabin for $85,000 only requires 5% down. So let's find out how much principal we're actually going to borrow. So this is the way I'm going to do it. I can do times, so 95% down, that means I'm going to borrow. 5% down, that means 95% I'm going to borrow. So I'm going to kind of do it the opposite way. I'm doing like 1 minus the 5%. 85 grand times 0.95. So that's 80,000. Oh, you can't see that. My calculator is having a glare going on here. So 80,750. So the reason I did it like that is because if I do times 0.05, I'm going to subtract 85,000 minus my down payment, which they're the same thing. So I just kind of went the opposite way. Okay, so let's look at the 20-year. 20-year is 7.5%. 30 years also 7.5%. So the only thing that's changing is the amount of time. So your payment's going to go up by a little bit. So your payment for 20-year will be a little bit more, but you're only paying for 20 years. So it would be times the 0.075 over 12. Then 1 minus 1 plus 0.075 divided by 12. Negative 12 times the 20. So the only thing that's going to change is for the 30-year. Change to 30 after you get that done for the 30-year. It's the same exact formula because the rates stayed the same. See how they both have the the 7.5%. So this one comes out to be 651. Then whenever you put this in, but change that to 30, that one comes out to be 565. So a little cheaper, but for 10 more years. $100-ish per month difference. So it says calculate the amount of interest paid for each option. So I'm going to multiply this times 12 times 20. Multiply this times 12 times 30. One times 12 times 20. 156, 240 is total amount paid. And then we can do 565 times 12 times 30. 203,400. So if I subtract those, that'll find the difference. So $47,000 difference. Wow, that's a lot. A big difference there. So you could just end up paying $100 more, not even $100 more per month. $86 more per month. And you would cut down your total interest paid by $47,000. And you would cut down the amount of time that you're paying it. So interest and time really makes a big difference. All right, let's look at amortization schedules. So whenever you do your loan, you will have to look over the amortization schedule. So what it does is it breaks down your interest, your principal, and the balance. And it goes by payment number. So you're going to see the interest go down, your principal paid go up, your balance go down. So let's look at an example. 5.5%, so our rate is 0.055. Your mortgage is $210,000. Monthly payments is going to be set at $1,715.88. Number of payments will be 180. So the way they came up with that is 15 years, 0 months. So 15 years times 12, right? Yeah, that's how they got that. If you can see my calculator. There we go. All right, so we can make this amortization schedule by hand. So the way you do that is the interest for the month. So our P principal is $210,000. There we go. Times your rate, 0.055. And times time. So since we're just doing 1 month, we're going to do 1/12. 210,000 times 0.055 times 1/12. So $962.50. So that's the amount of interest that's paid. So remember, our payment is $1,715.88. But all of this is going toward interest. Crazy, right? So your monthly payments minus your interest payment is going to give you your principal. So monthly payment is this minus your interest payment. So the amount that's going toward interest or that's going toward interest. Let's figure out principal. That's what I'm going to say. All right, $753.38. Okay, so that's the only amount going toward the principal. So then we need to do our principal, our balance of our loan. So $210,000 minus your principal payment. So $209,246.62. So 1 month, you paid that much in interest, that much toward the principal. So this is making your balance go down. Interest is not. Interest goes to the bank. All right, let's do the second month. All right, so now your principal is less. It's what you previously had after you paid that little bit of principal. Times the same rate, times 1/12 again. So I'm gonna, well, no, I can just re-enter it. So that amount times 0.055 times 1/12. So 959.05. So compared to last month, you're paying less interest because your balance is less. So remember how I was saying your interest payment's going to go down. You're not going to be paying as much interest as you pay toward the principal. Principal is going to go up. Balance is going to go down. So monthly payment is still the same amount every single month because it's fixed. Then you subtract. So it is the 209,246.62. Oh, I didn't do that yet. Let me do this. 1715.88 minus 259.05. So 756.83 now goes toward principal. Sorry, you can even see that. So now we got to figure out, well, what's the rest? What's left on our principal? So we go back to the 209, 246.62 minus 756.83. So 208.489.79. All right, are you getting the hang of it? It just takes a little bit. All right, so let's fill this in. So our interest payment, month one, $962.50. Principal payment, $753.38. Balance alone. There we go. Month two, $959.05. $756.83. 208.489.79. Okay, so let's do month three. So month three, number three, we're going to do the same thing. So that 208. Oh, let me just grab it, bring it down. There we go. Times 0.055 times the 1/12. 955.58. 955.58. Principal payment. So we're going to do 1715. Is it 88? Minus 955.58. 760.30. Take that away from the 208.489.79. 207.729.49. Okay. So you can continue to fill this out if you needed to. All right, let's figure out how you can determine what you can afford. So you spend no more than 28% of your gross monthly income. Spend no more than 36% of your gross monthly income for your total monthly debt, including mortgage, car payments, credit cards, student loans, medical debt. So those are the two magic numbers. So this is the maximum amount you can afford. So let's say you're at $100,000, then your maximum amount of mortgage is $2,333. And then your total monthly credit obligations would be $3,000, including. So you can only spend 600 and something, 667 on your other bills, including your car payments, credit card bills, student loans, medical debt. So all together is your total monthly obligations 36%. So what can you afford? So let's say your income is $45,000. What is the maximum amount you should spend on your mortgage? So you need to do $45,000 times, I need to divide that by 12 first. And then multiply that by 28. 45,000 divided by 12 times 0.28. So 1,050. So remember how I said monthly? Well, this is yearly. So that's why you divide by 12. It's 28% of your gross monthly. So that's why I found monthly first. Okay, so how much should you spend on total credit obligations? So we're going to do the same thing, but times the 36%. So $1,350. So only $300 can go toward anything else if you spend your max amount. If your monthly mortgage payment is 80% of your maximum amount you can afford, what is the maximum amount you should spend each month for the other debt? If your mortgage payment is 80% of your maximum amount, so 80% of your maximum amount. So here's your maximum amount. Here's 80%. So you're not doing the full max. You're just doing 80% of it. So $840. So $840 is how much you're spending on your mortgage. So it's saying for all other debt. So you need to do the $1,350 minus $840. So $510. So it says, what is the maximum amount you should spend for all other debt? So this is other debt. So 510 is all that you can spend. So if you want a house, you might not be able to get that new car you want. Okay, so you got to prioritize. What's more important to you? Is a car more important or a house more important? It's a lot to think about. All right, so the rest of this PowerPoint is just reading. Go ahead and read about renting versus buying and home ownership. That is all the notes I have for you.